The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Which starting spots are up for grabs? We'll talk about that. Plus, Jets insider Rich Cimini is calling out specific players to go win a job. We'll play that and much more. Matt O'Leary is going to be joining me. It's the Jake Asman Show on a Football Friday. Let's hit it and get it started.
We sitting in here, we excited as hell.
Now it's time to get to work. Are you a happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
I haven't felt joy talking about the Jets in a long time. When they announced it, I went, yeah! Let's go!
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. It is indeed the Jake Asman Show presented by PrizePicks. Click the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel and join the Patreon, especially if you want to lock in your spot. We have about 23 tickets left of the 70 we bought from the Jets for our annual Asmaniac training camp, or not training camp, our annual Asmaniac home game outing. So if you want to lock in a spot, section 146 for your group. It's $150 a ticket. Post-game field pass included. It's first come, first served to Patreon users first. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Let's say hello to a guy I got to hang out with at practice last Saturday. He is the great Matt O'Leary. Matt, how we feeling? Training camp in full swing. A week from today, the Jets will take the field at MetLife for their first preseason game, so we're almost there.
Yeah, we almost made it. We got a little Hall of Fame game action last night.
Great game, honestly.
Yeah, a lot of scoring. Carson Beck slinging the rock around. I'll take that for an August football game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, Nate Hackett is somehow an offensive coordinator again. Mike LaFleur is a head coach. It's just crazy. Kenny Yeboah was in the game last night. A lot of Jet connections, surprisingly, in this Hall of Fame game.
Yeah, Bam Knight, too, got some touches for Arizona. You're right. There were a lot of anytime the preseason's on, you could always find a former Jet somewhere still kicking around on a roster.
Yep, there's always something. We got a lot to talk about today. We'll break down the latest from training camp. Jets had a short practice that's already over, so we'll give you some takeaways from that. But as we sit here a week out from the first preseason game, feels like a lot of the roster spots are settled. Some of these starting spots, though, still up in the air. What's your take on some of the top positional battles right now?
Yeah, I think the thing that stands out to me the most is A.Z. Thomas as the number 2 corner, right? Like it was supposed to be a battle between him and Nashawn Wright. And I think because of the number of interceptions Nashawn Wright had last year, and he was a Pro Bowler, and I know he only got the 1 year and pretty cheap contract. I think it was $3 million, but I think a majority of people assumed that they were just going to give him the job. And I'm happy to see that A.Z. Thomas has been playing really good football, and it looks like he's the leader in the clubhouse. So I know that's only one of them, but that's the one that I think stands out the most to me right now.
In terms of the secondary in general, it feels like safety, the corner discussion, especially with the injury to Pond, a lot of stuff unsettled there. These are some comments I want to play from Rich Cimini on our recent Jets Collective episode, where Rich has given us the latest on safety, and he's also, I think, being pretty blunt here, but I agree with him on calling out a couple guys that here's your chance, step up and take the job or else.
And Fitzpatrick, if they started the season today, I think it would be Andre Cisco, which is kind of a disappointment. They drafted VJ Payne. He's working with the backups. They have Dane Belton, who gets some work with the starters. I think Belton is a guy to keep an eye on. Someone's got to be able to push Cisco out of that job. I just, not that I'm not dogging Andre Cisco. He's a Syracuse guy. I got to like my Syracuse guys.
I was going to say he's Long Island and a Syracuse
Long
guy.
Island and Syracuse. He's got two things that I like. But it's about production. It's a production business. Last year, while he was out there, he didn't produce. Of course, he got hurt. This year, I think he went into free agency hoping, he'd get some sort of deal. Nobody came knocking at his door, so he comes back to the Jets on a 1-year prove-it deal for about $2.5 million. So yeah, right now he's the leader. But I think they're hoping that someone could step up and take it from him.
Could you see Darren Muji making a move there? I mean, he made several trades last year to fix interior defensive line, Briggs, Phillips. Could there be a move for a safety this year instead?
Man, Muji is very aggressive. He can find guys. I don't know what's out there in terms of a starting safety. I tend to doubt it just because they have bodies there. And, I don't think they want to pay a lot for the safety position, although they are paying Minka Fitzpatrick $13 million a year. I'm just looking at my depth chart now. Yeah, I mean, it's not a great depth chart. I think Malachi Moore, I alluded to it earlier. It's like, step up, man. It's time to step up. You were a 4th-round pick last year. He had a lot of experience at Alabama. He was a 4-year player at Alabama. It's like, come on, now's your chance. Take the job.
Can he take the job, Matt? Because I agree with Rich. Andre Cisco being one of these starters, that's disappointing considering some of the investments the Jets have made in safety the last 2 years.
Yeah, I think it definitely is. So my note from the comments was going to be that it scares me a little bit how long it took for him to get to the name Malachi Moore. He went to VJ Payne first, who was a 7th rounder from this year, and then talked some Dane Belton, who, was a role player for the Giants, had some mixed in, experience and played a decent amount of snaps. But yeah, a little disappointing for Malachi Moore. I, liked his game coming out of Alabama last year. And I thought he looked okay at certain points last season, but him not really getting much run with the number ones, I don't think is a great sign. And when they re-signed Andre Cisco at the cost that they did, I think most people were thinking, all right, we don't really love Andre Cisco, but if he's your 4th safety, that's a little bit different than what he was essentially their number 1 safety last year. Well, it looks like he's going to start, and I don't know how to feel about that. I really like Minka Fitzpatrick on the back end, but Cisco looked really rough, and that's been kind of back-to-back years, his last year in Jacksonville and his first year with the Jets. So I'm not overly optimistic about Andre Cisco being the starter.
I would hope, just like I brought it up to Rich in our conversation there on the Collective Pod, Darren Muji is scouring other teams' rosters to see if they could find some sort of upgrade, a diamond in the rough. I mean, no one knew who Jawan Briggs was when the Jets brought him in a year ago, and he is, to me, a really good player who is young and ascending. Like, is there anyone out there that the Jets could bring in to add some competition to that position? I also wonder this, and this is more of a big picture thing. We got 3 first-round picks next year. We all hated the idea of taking a safety in the top 10 when they drafted Jamal Adams, and then it was ridiculous to then take a safety in the 2nd round when they took Marcus May. But that's a long time ago already. I wonder if this regime will use one of those 3 first-round picks on a safety in 2027. I don't even know who the top safeties are, if it's a good safety class or not. But, when you have 3 first-round picks, I could definitely see a year from now one of those picks being allocated to a quarterback and certainly one of those picks being allocated potentially to a safety.
Yeah, in normal circumstances, I don't usually love the idea of going safety in round 1. And I would say the same thing about linebacker. But the Jets having 3 picks, if one of them's quarterback and the other 2 are linebacker and safety, I don't think anyone could be surprised. You could argue those are 2 of the biggest needs still remaining on this Jets team.
No doubt about it. I really hope that we get to see Malachi Moore emerge, but I don't know, man. I think Malachi Moore, people were just looking for reasons to be positive last year in a lost season. And, he had all these tackles. He was out of position a lot. He got beat a lot. I don't think Malachi Moore had as good of a rookie year as some in the fan base keep trying to tell me he did.
No, I don't think it'd be fair to classify his season as a good rookie season. I think, maybe at best you could say up and down. There were some moments that I don't think he was consistent enough to be, given that job. I thought, he should be a part of the competition and hopefully he would earn that starting job. But I think why so many fans liked him coming out of school was because he was a long-term starter at Alabama and played all over the field, at box safety, deep safety, in the slot. all over the place. And, you look at what Aaron Glenn did defensively in Detroit. He likes players who are versatile like that. And, probably not a great sign for him that they go out and add Minka Fitzpatrick, who kind of the same thing as a safety you could play all over your defense. And yeah, like I said, I think it's just disappointing from what the hope and expectation was for him, but it's not looking good right now.
Comments, questions, your super chats, they cut the line. We got a great raffle today on a Football Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, today's prize is a signed Wayne Corbett jersey. Mr. Third Down, friend of the Asmaniac community. If you want in, you could send a super chat, $10 or more. That will get you 2 raffle tickets if it's 10, 4 if it's 20, 10 if it's 50, or you could gift the membership. And for every gifted membership, that's how many times your name is entered into the raffle. We'll spin the wheel of champions across our shows today. The first to do it is Phil D'Angelo, who sent me a Venmo. He purchased 2 raffle tickets. Excellent job, Phil.
Yeah.
His comment, send Andre Cisco packing. Amen to that one, Phil. But I think he's going to be the starter when it's all said and done. I mean, Matt, you and I were there last Saturday. Guess what? He looked like he was the starter in all the reps I saw.
Yeah, he definitely did at the practice that we were at. And, just based on the reports coming out from the beat reporters and those who are there every single day, we haven't got any word that it's going to be any different. So I think that's unfortunately the expectation right now.
How about this? We don't necessarily like the idea of Andre Cisco starting, but we're not anti-Cisco's because Cisco Lopez is the man. How about 10 gifted memberships to get us rolling this morning on a Football Friday?
Sometime I do super chat. Sometime I do give membership. But all the time I love the Jake Asman Show. They call me Cisco Lopez.
Cisco, you're in for 10. I also want to highlight something incredible that Cisco Lopez did behind the scenes. So we had a caller who called in the other day, very inspiring call. Ray of Sunshine was his name. He talked about how he lost nearly 200 pounds over the course of a 62-day saltwater fast, and really moving story. Huge Jet fan, lives down in Florida now, and he really wants to go to a game. And Cisco volunteered to purchase 2 tickets so Ray of Sunshine and his wife can join us on October 25th for the Jet Dolphin game, which is the Asmaniac meetup game in Section 146. And Cisco this morning sent me the payment, reserved the 2 tickets for Ray of Sunshine. So Cisco Lopez, incredible gesture. Just want to highlight that to our community. Now, I'd want Cisco Lopez to start over Andre Cisco, but what a gesture. So shout out to you, Cisco. Very, very kind. And that's what this community is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. Love that. Good stuff, Cisco. And what a story too, man. That's awesome.
62 days, saltwater fast. Could you do it, Matt O'Leary?
I don't know if I could do 12 hours.
Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking all things Jets. Jets practice is over. Aaron Glenn is not speaking today. The coordinator spoke. So this morning, the Duke of Defense, he was up there at the podium. You had Chris Banjo up there at the podium, and Frank Reich is expected to talk after practice. So we'll get you the takeaways from the coordinators in just a little bit. But right now we're breaking down the top training camp battles. And Matt, after yesterday's poor showing by Cade Klubnik, do you still think he's the Jets' backup week 1 in Nashville?
So the issue is with the other quarterbacks that they have on the roster, there's really no one to push Cade Klubnik. Brady Cook's not going to be the backup quarterback. Bailey Zappi, I don't think, has shown enough to be the backup quarterback. So unless the Jets are dipping into the veteran market, I think it is going to be Cade Klubnik. But, I'm still a believer that the Jets should add a veteran quarterback. I don't think it's fair to Cade Klubnik to be one Geno Smith rolled ankle away from having to go in. I just don't think that's a reasonable expectation for a day 3 rookie. I think in a perfect world, you have him sit the entirety of the season. And the real only guaranteed way you can do that is if he's the 3rd quarterback. So I am definitely someone who would be asking the Jets to bring in a vet quarterback here.
I can see it now. Jets trade a 2028 7th round pick for Andy Dalton.
Yeah, I mean, just one of those classic Darren Muji pick swaps. I think they have 3 6th rounders this year. So if it was like a 6th round pick for a 7th and Andy Dalton, one of those, move down around and pick up a player kind of trades, that feels right up his alley. And Andy has the connection with Frank Reich from their time in Carolina, so that one makes a lot of sense to me.
Quick update from practice today because it was a light practice. Veteran rest days for Fitzpatrick, Davis, and Harrison Phillips. Geno Smith was sharp in 11 on 11 without pads. So they weren't even wearing pads today. So I don't know how much we could really gain from today's practice, but we'll give you some quick takeaways from the beat reporters who were there. Geno sharp, according to Antoine Staley. He was 11 of 12 on his completions, with 5 of them going to Garrett Wilson. So he was 5 for 5 when targeting Garrett, and Garrett Wilson had a day without the pads fully on at one Jets drive.
Yeah, not surprised, right? Like through this entirety of the training camp, it's very clear that he is going to be a target hog in this offense, which I think we're all a big fan of. And as we know, Geno's not afraid to spread the ball around, and the Jets finally have some options to go to outside of Garrett Wilson in the passing attack. But man, I'm really excited to see what he can do this year with Geno Smith numbers wise.
Matt, are you concerned about some of these injuries the Jets are dealing with?
I'm a little concerned with Kenyon Sadiq. I know that he's going to be ready for the regular season, but for a rookie tight end to miss all of OTAs, all of mini camp, and likely all, or not all, but most of training camp, I think it's a big deal. It wouldn't surprise me if he started slow as he starts to ramp back up and, maybe comes on in the second half of the season. But, I think he should be a big piece of this offense, especially as a 16th overall pick. And look, I'm not completely writing him off or anything like that, but I do think it's tough that he's going to miss this much amount of time. Supposedly D'Angelo Pons is pretty close, so I'm excited to get him back on the field. But the Sadiq one's a big deal to me.
I'm concerned about T'Vondre Sweat because he's a big dude, and we keep saying, oh, he's over 350 pounds. I had Antoine Staley on my radio show I did yesterday on ESPN New York, and he said that T'Vondre Sweat looks closer to 400 pounds than he does 350, and he's missing time. He's got to get his conditioning right once he returns. I'm just concerned that this hamstring injury is a bigger deal than the Jets are letting on.
Yeah, that wouldn't be surprising, right? Like they kind of feel the same way with Sadiq. It was, it's just maintenance day. We have him in a program, and then the next day he's going to be out for a little bit, and that turns into a few weeks. And Sweat, it felt like, okay, they're going to start ramping him up. We're getting into it. We're a few days away now from the Jets' first preseason game, and not that I expected someone like T'Vondre Sweat to play a ton in the preseason, but yeah, when someone's that size and they've missed this much amount of time and they're trying to get into football shape, if you will, a little bit of a red flag, especially with what the Jets went through with Mekhi Becton for all those years and him trying to get in the right weight. I think that's something you always worry about with these bigger guys.
I'm going to play you Antoine yesterday talking about Sweat because I was hearing this and I'm like, I don't love this.
Andre Sweat, Antoine, when it came out that he's dealing with a hamstring injury and he's 365 pounds, I don't like hearing that. Yeah, at least, right? I mean, who knows what the actual number is? Any updates on him? I mean, he's a big part of their defense, you'd imagine, up front, stopping the run.
Yeah, there's no update on him. And, honest with you, like he looks a lot bigger than that. He looks closer to about 400 pounds, honestly. God. And then a guy that, that's not practicing and he's already big as it is, he's only going to continue to probably gain more weight too, especially with him not actively being out there. So you have to wonder what kind of shape he's going to be in, especially for somebody that's had, issues with his weight and being in shape there in Tennessee and in the past too, even when he was at Texas. So, yeah, I think the good thing about it is they did draft the guy, Darrell Jackson Jr. In the 4th round, who I think is doing a really good job so far in training camp too. So that it kind of might be in the blessing in disguise a little bit. I know it was anticipated Sweat would do big things, especially proving the run defense that, was one of the worst in the league last year. But I think Darrell Jackson, a younger guy who is also equally as big, not as big as Sweat, but a bigger force at 6'5", 315, 320, could also be a run stuffer for the defensive unit this year too as well.
So the positive is Darrell Jackson Jr. getting some opportunities and making the most of them, but 400 pounds for T'Vondre Sweat, you can't just lose that weight immediately once you start running again.
No, that's tough. And like we said, it takes a little bit to get back into the football shape. And I've been pleasantly surprised, I think, with Darrell Jackson. Like, I think he could be I'm not saying like an all-pro or Pro Bowler, but maybe he's a decent part of this rotation. But it's not the same as having that true nose tackle like T'Vondre Sweat is. So I agree with you. I don't love hearing that from Antoine, and it might take Savondre Sweat a little bit to get ready here.
Comments, questions, super chats, they cut the line. Hit the like button if you're joining us. Here are the weekly prizes. Sunday, the weekly Asmaniac raffle, folks. Get your entries in for a chance at football royalty. Signed Joe Namath helmet is our top prize. Signed Joe Klecko helmet, prize 2. Signed Curtis Martin helmet, prize 3. And last but certainly not least, a Jets Legends jersey. So you can pick Revis, Mangold, Klecko, Namath, Curtis, your choice. We send to you. And for those just tuning in, today on the show, we're giving away a Wayne Corbett signed jersey across our 2 shows. So make sure you enter for your chance at that. Matt, let's talk about Geno Smith. He had a really good day yesterday. He had another good day today. Sounds like Geno's having a good camp. Should we put stock into that, or are you not buying the Geno Smith resurgence with the Jets?
I'm buying it, not a full buy. I'm like half buying it. I think he's going to be better than what he was last year. I also think a part of why there's a lot of hype around him is just because of what the Jets were dealing with last year with either Justin Fields or Brady Cook. It's just Geno's a very different quarterback than both of those guys. He's not afraid to push the ball down the field, and he's going to put some balls into harm's way because of that lack of fear. And that's going to lead to some more explosive plays, which we've seen. We've seen him go deep to A.D. Mitchell and Omar Cooper and Garrett Wilson, and that's really exciting. We've seen some interceptions mixed in, which I'm willing to put up with if we're going to see this Jets offense be a little bit more explosive. So I like that because I do think he is going to have a better season than what he had last year. But I also, at the same time, think a part of the reason why he's getting talked about so much is because of just the stark difference between him and what the Jets had last year.
We got some breaking Jet news that I'm just seeing. Darrell Jackson Jr. has a new number, Matt, and I don't know how this is going to make certain fans feel. You might be a little confused at first if you tuned out after the trade deadline last year. Darrell Jackson Jr. now rocking the number 95 with the New York Jets. Your thoughts?
I love it. That's a true interior defensive lineman number. I don't think 74 has as much aura as the kids would say. So I'm in on 95 for Darrell Jackson. Stock up for me.
Man, the Quinnen number being issued to another big defensive tackle. Hopefully Darrell Jackson is as good of a player or close to it as Quinnen Williams. We time for that.
Would be really nice.
Oh, man. Comments, questions, or super chats, they cut the line. In terms of the pass catchers, without Sadiq, how do you see the tight end room taking form?
Yeah, I think, Mason Taylor was the number 1 last year, and I think he's going to get a majority of the run. And, a part of me is excited to see that from him because I liked what he gave the Jets last year. And I think someone that, gets brought up a lot is Jelani Woods. Maybe not, jumping up in front of Jeremy Ruckert on the depth chart, but I think he's going to get some run here. Frank Reich really likes him. I think it was Geno called him out by name as someone who has impressed him a little bit at camp. And, for him, it's always been the injuries. Right? That's been a factor in his career, derailed it a little bit in Indianapolis, but would not surprise me if he's one of those preseason and training camp heroes.
There goes my hero. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt O'Leary is our guest. Hit the like button. Your super chats will cut the line. Wayne Corbett jersey giveaway on the show. Today's Jake Asman program is presented by Zip Recruiter. Allow Zip Recruiter to help you find a qualified candidate for your job opening. And if you're looking for a job, go to Zip Recruiter. They're the best at what they do. They will match up a great candidate with a great employer. They got awesome features that do it, including a new feature that allows candidates to write in their own words why they're interested in your specific job. Check it out for yourself. 4 to 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter, they get a quality candidate within the first day. Try for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/audio. Again, it's ZipRecruiter.com/audio. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. How about this question here that I see from Daniel? 1 game in the preseason, the Hall of Fame game. And the question is, do the Jets deserve criticism for not taking Carson Beck? Well, can we see Kate Klubnik ball out in the preseason next Friday, Matt, before we have to deal with these type of questions?
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he went at the top of the third round. So unless you were okay with the Jets taking him in place of D'Angelo Pons, I think the answer is no. They don't deserve criticism for it.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it way too early? Like Haynes King looked great last night. I'm pretty sure he was a UDFA.
Exactly. Yes, it is the preseason. It's fun, right? Like this is all in good fun, but at the same time, we don't want to get nuts here.
Yeah, I see Drone says Beck was that dude in college, though. I don't know how he fell so far. I mean, Klubnik had a year where he was considered a top 10 pick in the draft going into his final season. So, we see this with young quarterbacks in college. Like, it's not always, success being lateral. Like, there's ups and downs, which is why anyone telling us there's going to be 8 quarterbacks that go in the first round in 2027, I'm not buying that. I just hope we get more than just basically one, which is what we had last year. I know Simpson was the second, but it's a unique scenario where he's not playing for a year, if not 2.
Yeah, with Beck, I think a big part of it was after the injury. I don't think the arm strength was the same, and that might have been a bit of a detractor for some of these teams. There's no doubt, like he had a good year at Miami, and they obviously went very far in the college football playoff. But there's a lot of factors that go into it. Maybe 2 years before his draft, when he was still at Georgia, he was projected to be a top pick, and same thing with Cade and Garrett Nussmeier and Lenore Sellers, who ends up going back to school, and all these guys. You don't know, and that's why I don't think it's an easy thing right now to guess who's going to be the top picks at the quarterback position next year, because you got to wait for this college football season to happen. No one thought Fernando Mendoza was going number 1 overall.
Another question about the Hall of Fame game, more like a statement. Watching Mike LaFleur coach made me sad. We have AG and not him.
Look, I mean, Mike LaFleur, unfortunately, a scapegoat because Zach Wilson was awful. And, they went to Nathaniel Hackett, who ironically is now on that staff with Mike LaFleur, which is, you can't make that up. And yeah, that was a tough one. I know this is ancient history now, but it felt to me at the time, and still feels that way, that they used LaFleur as the scapegoat for their offense being as bad as what it was.
100%. Sal didn't want to fire his best friend's brother. It was what he's saying. Someone's got to be held accountable for this, and getting Hackett was their ploy to get Rodgers to want to be a Jet. So we all know how things went after that. John J. Williams, we know what he does. He wins raffles, typically by entering via Zelle. He sent me $10. He just bought 2 raffle tickets. Let's go.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
John J. Williams, the man, the myth, the legend. This one also caught my attention from ISU. Says, honest question, does it make you mad that we had a young offensive-minded head coaching candidate on our staff under Saleh, and he got canned because Woody wanted the scapegoat? I mean, I'm not that mad over it, just because, like, the problem is Zach Wilson was just terrible. It all goes back to that. And, like, it never would have worked with LaFleur as long as they were committed to Zach. And then to get Rodgers here, which we all agreed in real time was the right move. It was just typical horrific Jet luck the way it played out with him getting hurt 4 plays in to his first damn game. That, like, it kind of is what it is at this point. Like, it's so long ago. Like, the Jets ineptitude, like, I'm now focused on the ineptitude with this new regime, not living in the past anymore. Like, I'm not that mad over the LaFleur situation.
No, I think, like, it's fair to say, like, it's something to be frustrated over, and we'll have to see how he ends up as a head coach in Arizona this year when the regular season gets here. But yeah, there's other things to be disappointed about and concerned about the current Jets. It's hard for me to keep going back to 2021 and 2022 and worrying about what ifs with Mike LaFleur.
Ozzy Fullers, Ozzy in the raffle for 1. Give him a Matt O'Leary Jets channel. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Let's see. Hit the like button if you're just joining us. We have the Azzies today. You guys are going to be excited about this one. It's the greatest Beast Breaker moment that's up for grabs. I have a short video that has clips from each of these incredible moments over the last year that encapsulate why these 4 moments were nominated for the best of the best among all the moments from Beast. The nominees are Bag of Bathtub from Hell, Didn't Watch the Jet Game, and the war with the USPS, the U.S. Postal Service. So stick around for the clips, and we're going to play some of the greatest moments from Beast over the last year. If you want in on the show, the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline link is pinned in the comment section. It's a Football Friday. We got a Wayne Corbett jersey up for grabs, so make sure you enter for your chance to win that, plus our weekly raffle on Sunday for 3 helmets signed by Jets Hall of Famers, including Joe Willie Namath. Matt, what else has caught your attention thus far in training camp beyond some of the things we touched on at the top?
Yeah, I think we hit on a lot of them here, but I wanted to call out Armand Membu. It just seems like he has taken his game to another level in year 2. He was so good as a rookie last year, and he is just coming in and seems to be stonewalling David Bailey more often than not. And Bailey has stood out as a positive too. Like I think it was Brian Costello on his show this week was saying that he just looks different, the same kind of different that guys like Jamal Adams and Sheldon Richardson and Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner did in their first season, which gets me excited about what we're going to see from Bailey. But as far as it goes with Membo, I think the expectations are sky high for him, and he's been meeting those expectations for me.
I think you're right. I mean, the Membu dominance is certainly notable. You have multiple people saying he looks like the best player on the field. He's on his way to being an all-pro. And when you brought up Bailey, I mean, he looks the part of the number 2 pick in the draft. And that's encouraging because too often we've had instances where you're trying to justify excuses for rookies, and you can't do that with the number 2 pick. He needs to be a star, and I think he's well on his way.
Yeah, I think so too. And, that's a position at edge rusher where, they don't always pop right out of the gate. Sometimes it takes him a few years, and, him standing out so much already in year 1, I think is a really good sign.
Man, David Bailey being awesome immediately, what that will do for the ceiling of the Jet defense, because I think they've added some good players to improve their floor. I don't think they have any superstars on their defense or guys with superstar potential. Bailey could be that guy.
Yeah, he definitely could be that guy. And like you said, I think that changes a lot, right? Like if they have someone who could give you double-digit sacks in year 1, and you pair that with Will McDonald, who's already done that once, and even if he's more in just a pass rushing role, and you added Osai and Igbare, and there were a lot of ads on the interior of the defensive line, and DeMario and Minka, and suddenly it's like, hey, you went from one of the worst defenses in the league to, even if it's a jump up to average or maybe the 12th best defense in the NFL, that's a big enough jump to really make a difference and hopefully push the Jets closer to their ultimate ceiling. I think a lot has to break right for them to get to that 8 or 9 wins that we see a lot of the more optimistic Jet fans talk about. But if those things happen, then I think that's the direction that this would end up going.
You brought up the Costello comments on the Gangs All Here episode. I pulled them for you. Here's Kaz, who's not known to give out strong praise, giving strong praise to the number 2 pick in the draft.
He's the real deal. And I think you guys have done this long enough with me now that I don't throw praise around that easy.
Wow.
Especially with the rookies.
Love it.
Let's
go.
Kaz
is giving him the real deal.
There's some guys you see and they're different. And I feel like the guy who I always remember, Sheldon Richardson, you saw it and he was different. Jamal Adams was different, right away. Sauce and Garrett were different. There's guys that come in as rookies and you just see it okay, this guy, and I put Bailey in that category.
Wow.
If you were an alien dropped on the field and you're picking the best players, you'd pick him because he's just explosive. He's got a lot of moves. He's got more power than I thought. He's been good against the run, too. I've seen him blow up some plays in the backfield, run plays. He just seems to always be back there. He had a move on Membu last week that was the only way I could describe it was like a stutter step. It was Olu. Olu just kind of fell backwards, off balance by the rush. And I was like, that was different. That was good. He's got such a burst about him. So I think you got one there, Frankie.
Wow. Frankie V, the leader of the Bailey Bros, man. He went from midnight to 6 in his pants. The New York Post had to cut it so that wasn't exposed. But my goodness, how about that? David Bailey, Brian Costello giving praise to a Jet player. I never thought I'd see the day.
Yeah, and like you just said there, he's not usually someone who dishes out a ton of compliments to this Jets football team. So I think you got to take that and run with it, man. That's really exciting stuff for David Bailey.
All right, Matt. So a perfect time to shoehorn this PrizePicks sponsorship mention because If you look at the number of sacks that David Bailey's projected over at PrizePicks, it's astonishingly low. David Bailey on PrizePicks right now, you could get his sack number for 5.75, meaning if he has 6 or more, you win if you put this in your PrizePick lineup. Would you go more or less on David Bailey on PrizePicks?
Yeah, I'm going more. I think that's low. I think he hits 7 at least 7 this year, maybe 8 sacks. So I really like this. I would totally add that to my lineup. That's one that jumps out as a must play for me.
Man, he definitely should do this. It wouldn't shock me if he gets closer to 10. Because again, I think the Jets will stop the run better this year. They'll be in more games and there'll be more pass rushing opportunities. And if McDonald could have 8 last year, I know 4 came in one game. I think David Bailey now playing with Will McDonald could definitely get at least 6, and wouldn't shock me if he's closer to 10 when it's all said and done. But I like hearing that. Again, this is better than the alternative where he's Vernon Golston. He's not doing anything in training camp and all that. So good stuff from Bailey. Shout out to PrizePicks offering this as an option for Jet fans. Use that code HMA when you sign up. If you play your first $5 lineup and you win, you can have $150 immediately in your PrizePick account. So take advantage of that special. Again, David Bailey, more than 5.75 sacks this season. Big shout out to Coach James Rodriguez, who became a channel member. He's now in the Asmaniac 4-1. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Ladies and gentlemen, a super chat now from Coach James. He's in the raffle for 2. He says, great seeing you. Been busy. Agree with you. The biggest issue right now is our coaching up to the job, not the talent. Jake, thanks for what you do. The best podcast on the Jets. Well, James, very kind of you. Thank you so much for the super chat. We'll make sure we got you down in the raffle for 2 entries with this. I think a talent level on the roster, and of course, quarterback being the biggest thing, the upgrade they made going with Geno over Fields year over year. This should not be one of the worst teams in the NFL. If you look at like the USA Today predictions, the Jets going 3-14. This team should not be anywhere close to as bad as they were this past year. This needs to be, at the bare minimum, a 7-win team, if not more, if Aaron Glenn wants to keep his job. They should not be one of the worst teams in the league with the talent level that exists, most notably at quarterback, offensive line, pass rush, number 1 receiver. Like you described the Jets roster, this is not the worst team in football. I'm just not buying it.
No, and I was just going to reference that where USA Today has them at 3-14, which would give them a top 3 pick. And, if you want to do the draft spin, the Colts were also 5-12. So that'd be 2 top 6 picks, which I'm sure we could talk ourselves into. But I don't want to see the Jets go 3-14 this year because to me, that would be significant red flags, not only just for the coaching staff, but for some of these guys on this team. I'd be wondering what went wrong for some of these young players and guys who you thought were building block pieces. But this is a good call out from Coach James. It's really on the coaching staff. There's no excuses for where this roster is. It's not, going to be a roster that looked like what it did in December when you were starting Brady Cook and the guys you never heard of were playing all over that defense. There's a lot of big names. There's a lot of high draft picks. There's a lot of talent. They have to win significantly more than 3 games this year.
They should not be one of the worst teams in the NFL. I'm not buying it. I don't see how they could be that bad unless the coaching is just atrocious, which it was atrocious last year, but Glenn got to hire a new staff. He's now taking over the defense. And that's really where I want to go next. This defense doesn't need to go out there and be elite. But I saw last night watching the Hall of Fame game, the Panthers in 2024, they had the worst defense in the league. And what did they do last year? They went from dead last to average. They were 15th in defense last year, 16th in defense last year in scoring and yards categories. That I don't think is out of the question for the Jets with some of the talent they've added, including what we're hearing about David Bailey. Like if Aaron Glenn's superpower is play calling, going from the worst to around league average, I don't think is a crazy ask. What are your thoughts on the expectations for Glenn and the defense?
That is totally fair expectations to me. I think you nailed it, right? If they go from wherever they were 31, 32, all the way up to, somewhere middle of the pack, we'll call it, 14 to 18, maybe somewhere in that range. I think that's, a nice step. And I think there are still some concerns for me. Like, I don't know if they have a true number one corner. Worried who's starting next to Minkah Fitzpatrick, worried about the depth at linebacker. And if those things are holding them back from being a truly elite defense in the top 5 or in the top 10, to me, that's understandable. But, I don't want to see this team go out and be like 27th in defense and the spin be, oh, well, they improved. Well, that's not enough to me. The talent is too good for this not to be close to a league average defense. And that's not an unrealistic ask. Worst to first, I think that's getting a little bit greedy here, but worst to average in a year, that happens far too often in this league.
Amen to that one. Hey, shout out to Coach James. He's in the raffle for 5 more entries. He gifted 5 channel memberships.
You have superpowers. You got to fly over there.
That's our coach, baby. That's our coach. This one from Football Guy, $10 super chat in our raffle for the signed Wayne Corbett jersey for 2. Jake, love the show, and Matt, love your show as well. Hall of Fame game was pretty good from recent years. What did you think of Carson Beck? So we actually hit on this a little earlier, Football Guy, but it was a highly entertaining Hall of Fame game. Usually these are slot fest and there's no scoring and it's turnovers and penalty infused. I mean, it came down to the final plays, man. What more can you ask for in the Hall of Fame game?
Yeah, definitely one of the better Hall of Fame games that I remember. And yeah, I mean, Carson Beck came out slinging the rock. And, I think for Arizona Cardinals fans, you got to feel happy about how he played. And, obviously they have Jacoby Brissett, who I think is going to be their starter at the beginning of the year. But, you want to see this from Carson Beck now. And who knows, if they get out of the gate slow and Jacoby Brissett's struggling, it would not shock me if they made the switch sooner rather than later to Beck.
Here's what you want to see if you're a Jet fan. You want other teams that are in on the quarterbacks to not need quarterbacks. So if you're the Jets, if you can't get one of the guys with your own draft pick positioning, you could trade with a team that feels like they have their quarterback and you can then get yours. So do I think it's likely Carson Beck gets in this year and looks great and Arizona's just going to punt on taking a quarterback? Probably unlikely. He was a 3rd-round pick, but 3rd-round pick's different than a 7th-round pick or Brady Cook playing for the Jets last year. So you never know. That's what you're rooting for. You're rooting for the Cardinals. You're rooting for, in a weird way, the Dolphins to have a guy in Malik Willis that they believe in. So they're off the board for a team that needs a QB. Like, that's what you're looking for if you're the Jets. You need some of these teams that have, questions at quarterback to hopefully solve them during the season so the Jets then can benefit from less teams vying for the same players.
Yeah, 100%. That's a great point on that. And, Beck, at least for that angle, he started a bunch of games in college. So it's not really like someone who needs to sit for a long time and really learn the position because they only started 12 collegiate games. That's not the case with him at all. He has a ton of starting experience. So if he gets in there, he should be ready to play.
Also, another Jet connection we missed. Leon nailed it. So you got LaFleur, who called the plays for Arizona. And Brad Izek, I believe his name, the son of former Jets GM John Izek, was the offensive coordinator for the Panthers calling the plays.
I saw that Idzik name pop up on the graphic. I think it was towards the end of the game. They popped him up, and it was just chills down the spine anytime you see the name Idzik. But like I said earlier, man, there's always a Jets connection in the preseason with any of these teams.
There always is. It really is astonishing how that continues to play itself out. Matt, we've done 45 minutes of straight Jet talk. Are you ready to see the nominees for the greatest Beast Breaker moment of the last calendar year?
Yeah, I need this. Like, I need air to breathe. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, those are the 4 nominees on the screen. Here is each moment in a highlight reel that Gator McCluskey put together before we open up the polls.
What in the hell is this?
Have some candy.
Beast, you know it's a joke, right?
Beast, I'll eat it with you.
Throw the bag of dicks out the window.
Throw the bag of dicks.
Get back to work. Come on. Free those dicks. Let them fly.
Oh, my God.
Sacagawea.
You let that dick fly. You feel better? Ooh. Is that the first time your hand was on a bunch of dicks?
Oh, no. I want to go have a sausage sandwich and enjoy the rest of my day.
For the last 10 days, Beast has not had hot water.
Tools in hand, let's go, Beast. What's the problem? Talk to me. The pipes where the water was at, so that guy took it out of there. Boy, was it a bitch. It smells like somebody's ass. That is disgusting. I'll take this rod, lucky I don't brand it, and shove it all up your asses. I will talk later.
Use it as a raffle prize?
You might, right? That might be a good idea, you know? Have them send it to you and bring it to Ocean, dude.
Thank you, Lou B. You're welcome here to my community. I'm going to rip that guy's throat out and choke slam him straight to hell. And you can take that picture and shove it up your freaking ass.
Mad Max is inside the Beast Breaker bathtub right now. Dana says that tub has hantavirus. So, Beast, you now have full hot water, correct?
See.
Lou B spent $2,500 out of his own pocket to make this happen. No. Well, why don't you say thank you to Lou B?
If I do intend to get married, he is my first inductee to being on my wedding list.
If you want to know what these plumbers saw yesterday, here's a look.
I could not watch the whole game.
Is it true you didn't watch any of the game?
Running up and down the damn stairs, doing laundry, and also doing the art.
You claim to be a huge Jet fan. You're doing laundry during the game? You know you called it to a football show, right?
We know that.
But you didn't watch the football game. Tell us what happened on the Jets' first drive on third down, the big play that happened there.
Yo, I had blood work done 72 hours ago. You don't think
but
I know
24 hours ago.
I got a fucking problem. He did very well. He jumped it. He did a few plays here and there.
What was your favorite catch he made today?
Yeah, he made a nice little grab. Not too bad.
Hey, Beast, can I tell you something very important?
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson didn't play, you fat bastard. Don't call into a Jet show talking about Garrett Wilson when he didn't play in the game today. He was out. You didn't watch the game.
I'm on the phone trying to get a hold of USPS. They lost some of my mail.
Sorry, I did not get that. How would you rate the ease of use of the automated system?
I'm going to say 1 because lately you've been very slow, lazy, laxative. It's because everything is, AI. There's going to be some consequences. Do the job, or if you can't do your job, get out. Even when you try to do a background on your computer, you can't even do that anymore.
Mr. Jason, can you just calm down for 1 second, please?
I don't like when people bullshit me. I'm on the air right now. Yeah, I'm on the air. Jesus.
Thick provolone and the mozzarella. They have it shredded over.
I'm on the air. You're being annoying.
You're always on the air, Jay.
Is he looking for the condiments on his?
Who was that, Beast?
Don't worry about it. I got a headache right now from yelling.
They were like, "You're always on the air. You're always on the air, Jason." Incredible.
I don't know how you could pick just one of these to vote for.
The fact that we were able to get it down to 4 was impossible because there's so many other moments that missed the cut. But ladies and gentlemen, those are your nominees. Now it's time to vote in the Azzy Awards. The greatest Beast Breaker moment is up for grabs.
Cast your vote for the best. It's time for the Azzy Awards. It's time for the Azzy Awards. Cast your vote for the best. It's time for the Azzy Awards.
The good thing is Beast can't lose, so he's guaranteed to win another Azzy Award.
I don't know. Him talking about Garrett Wilson when he didn't play, that might be the one for me. They're all great, but that made me laugh. That was good.
Unbelievable. I'm curious to see who wins. Usually I got a pretty good feel for this, but I think any of these have a legit chance of getting it done, making it all happen. Now, Matt, Frank Reich is speaking, or he did just speak, and he had this to say about Cade Klubnik. So I have to ask you a very simple question. Do we believe in Frank Reich? Because he's apparently fired up. I'm going to pull the clip, but based on what you've heard and even what you saw from Frank Reich the other day at practice, do you have more confidence or less confidence than you initially did in the Jets OC?
I have the same level of I don't think there's been enough for me to really sway my opinion just yet. And look, even in these preseason games, it's going to be super vanilla. But I will say something that was on the positive side for me when we were there on Saturday was it felt like he was using Kenyon Sadiq in a bunch of different ways, having him line up in line in the slot out wide, and that gets me excited because I think, with his skill set, you don't want to see him kind of just pigeonholed into that traditional tight end role. So slightly optimistic, but I can't say that I've been swayed too much from, just a little over a week in training camp so far.
Ladies and gentlemen, I mentioned Frank Reich. Here's Frank Reich. He's fired up to be coaching the New York Jets.
A lot. I mean, it's energized me a lot. I get my energy from AG, number one, right? I mean, like a lot of the players here, he's a great leader. So I'm connected to that, to his leadership. But ultimately, as the offensive coordinator, I get my energy from the players on offense. Wanting to see them excel, wanting to see G do his thing. Excited about what we're seeing from AD. Tight ends, man. Put any one of you in there. All of your great players. Seeing what Brees can do. Braylon looks great running the ball. He's big and strong. I mean, watching Geno operate, the other quarterbacks operate this offense, and Geno's laser-like focus, man. It's hard not to get excited about that every day. It's a lot of fun.
Frank Reich excited. Here's Frank talking about his starting quarterback, Geno.
Geno's a leader. He's a leader of the offense. Make no mistake about it in every way, shape, and form. And to me, what has come crystal clear to me in this early time in training camp, the attribute that sticks out to me is his laser focus. This man is laser focused like people don't understand. Like he comes to work. He comes to work and he is locked in. And I feel like the whole offense plays off of that. That's a really big deal.
I mean, I like hearing that. And laser focus, Geno Smith wearing red contact lenses he talked about yesterday to help deal with glare, something he's trying out this summer. And he's liked how it's affected his ability to play with the sun in his eyes.
And whatever works, man. It worked for Santonio Holmes. Why not Geno?
Yeah, Geno actually was asked about that, and he said that's where he first discovered you could even do that when Santonio Holmes did that years ago with the Jets. So I thought that was interesting. But I'm glad Geno's locked in, man. Just make sure he carries a license on him when he drives.
That would be nice.
Yeah, we have listeners of the show asking if Geno needs a personal driver.
You saw my hat? Yeah. And if you need anyone to drive you, I got you, Geno. I got you. Geno, you look great. I got you.
Lou B, baby. Lou B.
Love it.
Here's more from Frank Reich. He's asked about Cade Klubnik.
I think Cade's been good. I'm really like how he's come back mentally, and I feel like he's taken a good step mentally. It's a lot now. I think we're at the point where everything is pretty much in. He shows the aptitude to pick it all up, the aptitude for big plays, right? And just continue to weather the storm. There will be some storm. You're a rookie quarterback. You're gonna take your lumps. But I'm happy with the whole quarterback room. All those guys that are kind of competing for the number 2 spot are doing a good job.
We could be nice about this. There's one guy competing for the number 2 quarterback job. We saw it in person last week. There were barely any reps for Zappe and Brady Cook. It's Klubnik's job to lose. The backup's not on their team if it's not Klubnik. I think it's Andy Dalton or someone else in a trade or a waiver wire claim, when we get closer to the start of the season.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. We were talking about that earlier, but for Cade, you want to see how he bounces back from interceptions and mental mistakes. He's obviously still a very young player, and it's his first training camp experience, and it's tough to make that adjustment to NFL speed. So he's going to get an opportunity to play a lot in the preseason, and we'll see how far along he is.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you vote in the Azzy Awards. It's as close as any award we've done so far. 20% is bag of, 27% is bathtub from hell. 29% and the current leader is didn't watch the Jets game. And 24% is Beast War with the U.S. Postal Service. So 3 of the top 4 are all within a couple percentage points of each other. We have not yet had that happen. We've had 1 overtime in the Azzies where 2 were head-to-head, but this is very, very close. So for those of you out there who haven't voted, your votes matter more than ever in this morning's Azzy Awards. Let's do a couple calls with Matt before we wrap it up. Right now, there's only one man that's currently on hold, and it's the man who was nominated for today's Azzy Awards.
That does not look right. Cold, snowy periods throughout Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky. Coastal storms, snow, sleet, and mix through Vermont, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia. Oh, Jesus. That's terrible.
I'm sorry you don't like the weather report. Now, Beast, which moment that was nominated? Put headphones on. I'm not dealing with this echo.
Sure.
And your ring light.
All right, there's one.
I got good news for you.
Yes.
My daughter's going for her 6th cheerleading title today in a tournament.
Where is it?
It's in Arizona. And you can say it right now. Number 41 is on its way. So that means the force is already getting stronger.
What's number 41?
I have 35. She's gonna have her 6th. That means surprises around the way.
You have 35
Remember,
what?
35 world belts. Her 6th belt is on the way, and that means good vibes. You know what good vibes is? I mean,
are you guaranteeing that she's gonna win?
Oh yeah. You don't know how powerful my own family could be. It's called we're force. We may not be freaks, but we're like strong nature. All you gotta have is good vibrations. Good. It's just your sweet good vibrations. Woo! That's right, baby. Good vibrations.
Now, Beast, which one of your Azzy nominees would you vote for?
I say going to war with USPS, because those sons of bitches gotta learn. It's called if you can't do your job and you can't hold your weight, then you gotta go. You gotta go, bro.
How come you're not going to Arizona to watch this cheerleading competition?
I'm busy. I got a lot of things that are on my plate right now. Gotta make money.
Such as?
Gotta make money. Gotta cut grass. Got things to do. Got a lot of stuff to start getting rid of. Gotta start.
Isn't family more important than anything?
Yeah, we know that, but I get to watch it live on my phone, and don't worry, because I also have the book of the Bible right in front of me. Because why? It comes from here.
What time is the competition?
It starts at 2 today. But I'm gonna be watching because
2 Arizona time, 2 Chicago time.
2 o'clock my time, but 12 o'clock her time, which is okay. That's fair. That gives me enough time to get a rest in, and then also I'm going to be doing laundry, and I'm also going to be watching, and also.
So how are you earning money?
Got to cut grass. Got to find different ways. Got to find.
But you didn't mention you're cutting any grass.
We will be. Just give it
When?
time. Be patient. Do you ever listen to Yoda going, Yoda?
They're calling you a deadbeat dad in the chat, Beast.
I know. You know what? They're so full of shit. You know what? They beat off to National Geographic while they're sitting in their own parents' basement.
Nick Shine says a lot of things on your plate, ? Yeah, 11 meals a day.
Well, I'm not gonna. Yeah, that's full of shit. He can't get his act straightened out. It's called go get off my ass. Now today it's good vibrations, and we're gonna have some good vibes. No bad vibes today.
Nightbot writes, Beastbreaker couldn't match my hardcore metallic powers with a lifetime of training and a cheat code.
Yeah, he couldn't exonerate this dick. That's what he can't touch.
Whoa, Matt, have you heard about this Nightbot rivalry that's starting?
No, what's going on?
I have no time. I have no time for stupid shit. I have time for business and good vibes.
So
what good vibes?
Nightbot
good
is a
vibes.
new listener of the show.
Yeah, right. New listener.
He's been challenging Beast.
My fucking ass.
The Nightbot World Order. And you have people in the chat like the Chuck Wagon who's joined the Nightbot. Chuck Wagon says, Nightbot never neglects his children. Hail Overlord Nightbot.
He's full of shit, too. You know what? He beats off the National Geographic, too.
I, the Chuck Wagon, call all Asmaniacs here to follow Overlord Nightbot and join the Nightbot army. Together we can put an end to Beastbreaker and his filth he calls the Deadly Dark Alliance. With myself and Barbarossa, we are looking for 2 more strong individuals to become generals in the Nightbot army. Salvation awaits. All hail Overlord Nightbot.
Crazy twist happening in this storied chat on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know. I might be Team Nightbot right now.
Wow. Team Nightbot? Strong.
I am Nightbot. I am watching you, Stormrocks 877. You will be punished and removed from the chat if you continue your douchebaggery, Flappy Tits.
You want to go do something? Go beat off to National Geographic. I'm playing pool.
I am
3,
Nightbot.
2,
I
1,
am the global
0.
enforcer, and I am the leader of the chat. Beastbreaker 666, you will bow down to your master.
Nightbot here again. I'm coming for you, Jason. Your chat messages are like a bag of dicks to me. I will destroy your fat ass.
You still team Nightbot, Matt?
Still team Nightbot.
Wow.
I like it. I like this rivalry. I'm here for it.
Strong stuff. Strong stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll do one more call with Matt O'Leary before we say goodbye. Let's first transition to get his intro ready. I have it ready. And then, ladies and gentlemen, sing along.
I'm Ricky, New York, and I love to smoke. Florida State, I really love Florida State. Jordan Travis, you know he's from Florida State. At any rate, I call into smoking debate. Florida State, I really love Florida State. At any rate, thanks for taking my call, Jake.
What's happening, guys?
Ricky.
Hey, Ricky.
How you doing today?
Doing good.
Awesome. Matt, you recall when me and you were on together, we went over the schedule game by game. Do you remember how many wins we came up with at the end of it?
I don't remember what the final tally was. No.
9 wins. 9 wins we came up with. Which one we were kind of on the fence, but I'm looking to speak that into existence.
Matt, do you have 9 wins for the Jets this year?
No. I think I'm going to end up under that number.
There was one I was kind of on the fence with, so I'm going to say 8, but okay. I'm going to speak that into existence.
Well, you spoke 10 into existence last year, and they won 3. So maybe do the opposite.
In that case, I'm going to say 25 this year. If we're using that. Dude, this Nightbot Beast rivalry is really heating up, and it would probably be beneficial to Nightbot if we could actually see what he looks like, because we all get those animated intros, and if we could actually see what this guy looks like in real life, that might sway some people to join the Nightbot army.
Put it on.
Just saying.
Put it on. Put it on.
I can't breathe in that thing, and it also fits real tight, so the eyes fog up. When I put that on, I can't see.
Do it. It's your destiny.
Oh, here we go.
Put it on. Put it on.
Oh shit! You gotta be kidding me.
I understand that, but I'm trying to, but I got so much stress on me. It's not funny anymore. I'm trying to hold money and I'm trying to do my best, but it's like it keeps getting crazy, and then I lose my temper. I go off the wall, and then I'm snapping at people. It's because everything here is so expensive, and it's driving me nuts.
Can you hear me?
Beast.
And I do have her picture right in front of me. I you should see it, my friend. Here, I'm gonna send it to you right here. Watch it. Look, take a look. That's her with a friend right there.
The army is rallying.
See it?
We're coming for you, Beast. the Nightbot army is coming for you.
Go take a look. I'll call you back. I'm on the phone with some people. I don't got time for you or your shit or your sympathy. You're weak. My daughter has a tournament coming up today. I don't have time for you. You're wasting my time. Why don't you go listen to Spice Girls, if you want to be my lover, go listen to that. Go listen to Spice Girls or something. You ever hear Spice Girls? You ever hear that?
Is that
something you don't know nothing about? Something you know nothing about because you're too dumb.
Dinner time.
You don't know nothing about that stuff. See, I've heard it before. I've heard it before from somewhere. See, a long time ago, when I used to watch the box, they used to put a lot of crazy stuff on there in the day. See, you don't realize what changes are happening right now. I want good vibes. Right now, it's time for good vibes. It's time for you to split. Time for me to get with my life. Because right now, I'm flying high. I'm thinking about the future and what's going to happen for 27, 28, 29, 30, and 31. So if you want to do something, go clean your ass up. Take a shower.
Can you hear me?
I don't want to talk to you.
Oh my God.
I have no time for stupid shit. I have good time. I have time for Jesus. I have time for Jets games and other things. So piss off.
Yes, go back to the hole where you belong, big boy.
Now look what you've done. Beastbreaker 666. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to cut your call off and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. Do you understand me? You catch my drift?
Are you seriously on crack? I think
give them another 24 hours to think about it.
How about you bending over and taking up the booty hole behind the 7-Eleven?
What a moment, Matt. What a moment.
Wow. He was took it out on Nightbot there for a minute. Good for Beast.
Are you still Team Nightbot?
Yeah, I'm still Team Nightbot.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll check in next week and see if you've changed your mind.
I love this show.
Matt, thanks for the time as always. Have a great weekend.
You too, Jake. Have a good rest of your show.
Matt O'Leary with us. Go subscribe to his channel. Beastbreaker says, Matt the douche. Strong. Ladies and gentlemen, like the video and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Marvelous is the latest to enter our raffle. We're giving away a signed Wayne Corbett jersey today, and Marvelous just entered for 5. Let's go.
You have superpowers. You got to fly over there.
Marvelous, thank you. Ozzy, another entry. Ozzy Fuller's trying to win a Wheel of Champions prize. Is today the day for you, Ozzy? It's coming. You got to believe. Got to believe it for it to actually happen. Ozzy, you're in for one.
Are you a happy guy?
Oh, my goodness. Let's go.
Get in on the show if you want in on the conversation. We got Dylan Terraman this afternoon with me at 4 p.m. today. So DT back on the program this afternoon. This morning, the Duke of Defense spoke to the media for the second time. The first time, it looked like he was going to shit himself. Let's be honest. All right. Even Rich Cimini noted that he was nervous up there when we talked about it on our podcast 2 days ago. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see how the Duke did today. Here's Jets defensive coordinator Brian Duker at the podium at 7:30 this morning, which was intentional by the Jets because less media would be there. So maybe he's not as nervous.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Just want to start kind of very excited about the work that the guys have put in so far. Very proud of what we've done, happy with the progress that we've made. Kind of looking forward to getting a chance to see a new opponent next week and see where we are. Good.
What's it like, Brian, you guys have so many kind of different pieces up front that you can move around with the staff, kind of going over personnel packages and figuring out, the best way to use all those guys?
Yeah, that's always a conversation, as far as what each guy does best, even within each call, potentially could we move this guy here for this call, but you certainly don't want him only there for that call. So then you need to have some complementary looks off that and a few different things guys can do from each location. But it helps having good guys up front and gives you flexibility. So that's always a good thing.
Watching these camp practices, you can sometimes tell when a guy is different because even from us on the sideline, he starts popping routinely. David seems like he's getting into that category pretty early, even as a rookie Bailey. What have you seen from him that makes him look like it's just different?
I think Dave's similar things to what he's shown in college, right? He has the ability to use his speed, his quickness, and his power in a variety of different situations. Can certainly get in the backfield, run and pass, and be effective doing that based on his athleticism and power.
Has there been any moment for you yet when you've gone back and watched the All-22 or the practice film and you kind of sat back and said, wow, with him or anything like that?
There's certainly plays you're like, that's what we thought it was going to be, and it's good to see it, you know? So we expected that from him.
Has he been better against the run than maybe even you expected?
I thought he would play well. I thought he had the ability to do it. I thought sometimes there's different ways you can play up front, and it was just a matter of more training him how we wanted him to play up front. I certainly thought he had the ability to do that, and he's done a good job with that. I'm happy with that.
With Aaron Glenn calling plays, what has been your dynamic with him, and what have you been able to learn from him so far?
My dynamic with him is certainly just assisting him, you know, in terms of that role, still getting the guys ready every day and doing everything I can from that and trying to help, you know, make sure our systems are clean, systems are in place, and everything's well run in that regard. And then as far as what I've learned from him, I mean, he and I go back for a while, so there's not one thing this year necessarily, but it's just more continuing to have football conversations. Like the thing with AD, I just enjoy the back and forth discussions that we have and just the football conversations. He's a passionate football guy, and I enjoy those talks and those conversations that we have. Probably how I'd highlight that. Yeah.
He doesn't want you to necessarily be him. Through knowing his defense the way you do, has it helped you kind of come up with a defensive style that's more yourself in certain ways based on how you learn from him?
Side note, I have no idea who this reporter is. Usually I could tell the voices and know who it is in the room asking the question. I have no clue who that is.
I kind of think of it that way in that there are certain general principles of defense that he and I see very similarly and always have. There's certainly different ways you can solve a problem within the defensive scheme. And maybe I know in my head there's one or two different ways we get into this. I got a pretty good idea of which of those two he'd prefer typically, you know what I mean? So it kind of helps in that regard.
Donald Johnson been getting some run here with Sweat out and some of the guys in front. What have you seen from him so far?
Yeah, a lot of strength, a lot of size and strength, which is what we were hoping for. So he's been really impressive. Been happy with him. Completely agree.
What's your focus with tackling in these practices early in camp where you don't take people to the ground? What are you looking for the guys to do, and how do you prepare them for games when they're going to be actually tackling in practices where you can't tackle?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's certainly times that we try to simulate the contact, whether do pads and bags and things of those natures. The biggest thing this time of year, again, I talked about this a little bit in the spring, but the angles and to the ball and where our direct angle is and are we approaching our aiming point correctly is a huge point of emphasis. I kind of talk to the guys a lot of times about what a missed tackle looks like this time of year. There's plays I'll show on tape, and we'll say this is what a missed tackle looks like this time of year. It's like those cutbacks, those extended arm tackles. Like that's not what a real tackle looks like in a game. You're not just putting your arm out and making that. So don't say that's a made tackle right now. And understand that's what a missed tackle looks like this time of year. If you didn't put your body on his body and stop his momentum, you need to assume that's a missed tackle right now.
You were with Mink last year. What kind of impact are you already seeing him make, and what kind of influence does he have, not only just with the secondary, but throughout the whole defense?
Mink obviously has already shown the ability and continued to show on the side of his career that he's a really good football player, and certainly is a very instinctive player and is a very versatile player. He continues to do that. Outside of his specific on-field skills, though, Mink carries himself in a way that helps his teammates. Like he has leadership skills that permeate throughout the building, largely just the way he approaches his work every single day, and also has the confidence and the relationship, the connectivity to be able to pull some guys aside and kind of have some one-on-one conversations. And he's not a big rah-rah guy. You guys have kind of seen that already but from Mink, I'm sure. But just the way he carries himself and the approach that he has every single day wears off on the other guys.
How has AZ Thomas progressed since when you got here?
Good. Yeah, he's obviously, didn't do a lot in the spring. So practice-wise, I was still a little bit trying to wait and see because I didn't have a good feel for that. But I've been happy with what he's done in practice so far. I think he's done a nice job in one-on-ones and all that type of things.
With Pons, how do you make sure that he's up to speed when he eventually returns, and what's he done like behind the scenes in the meeting room?
Mentally, he does a very good job, stays very engaged. Like, they do a good job, obviously, the DB room still keeping him up with the walkthroughs and everything like that. Got the script sitting there. All right, what's this call? What's your job? What do you need to do on this one? So really trying to continue to make sure he takes those mental reps every single play. I'll try to do that when I walk by him every now and then. I'll just throw a question at him, try to catch him off guard, and it's hard to do. He's on it. He's in good shape mentally right now.
Demario Davis, we saw him as a Jet previously in his career, but now as a veteran in the linebacker room. What kind of leadership does he bring not only to the linebacker room, but to the defensive room as a whole?
Yeah, Minka, I'm sorry. Earlier I was talking about Minka and how, like, he's got that very much kind of leads by example and has kind of a quiet presence. Like, Double D has all those leadership skills, but he's just a more vocal body, personality type and that sort. So Double D obviously has seen a whole lot of football, has seen high levels of football, and carries himself the right way. So just the way he goes about his business, that alone, guys see that and try to emulate that. It goes a long way. But then when something doesn't look exactly like he wants, like Double D is going to speak up and he's going to let the group know about it, and he's going to be very clear about what the expectations are for the group, and I very much appreciate that about him, and I think that's kind of how he shows his leadership.
A lot of Double D talk.
Will McDonald was talking yesterday about dropping in the coverage. I don't think that's anything he's done here before. How difficult a skill is that for a guy who's used to going upfield?
You're really athletic, You've been an athlete in space before, so I think certainly it's more a matter of the details of each drop on like where we want you necessarily. From an athleticism standpoint, he certainly is athletic enough to do that. But it's just a matter of, all right, this drop's different, and you might react to a route differently in each one. So that was more just specifics of it, but it's really just kind of getting a few reps and thought to that.
So that is the Duke of Defense, his press conference this morning at 7:20 in the morning. He was more comfortable. Didn't look like he was going to poop himself like last time. I don't think we learned a ton necessarily. He doesn't exactly have a personality suited for media. Loves Minka. Comfortable working with Glenn. Bailey's impressed him. Emphasis on tackling. Even if they're not fully tackling, he's showing examples of situations at practice where, hey, you didn't tackle this guy here. This would be an escape in an actual game. The guy would still be running. So I thought that was interesting. But I don't think we learned a ton there from the Duke of Defense. This is still the Aaron Glenn show, but Duker's important because in game, right, when the Jets need to make adjustments, Glenn's going to be on the sideline coaching the whole team. He's got to be ready with the challenge flag. He's got to be ready with the timeouts and whether or not to go for it. He's not just going to be spending time just with the defense when the offense is out there. Now, he could, because Frank Reich's been a head coach twice and once in college. So Frank Reich might be a better head coach right now than Aaron Glenn is, if we're being honest. But that doesn't mean that that's what you want your head coach doing. Like, Glenn still needs to be the head coach. Colin Wolford in the raffle for one. Thank you, Colin. Handyman 72 in the house. He says, Wayne Corbett was a beast. Jet up. Well, you got two chances now to win a signed Wayne Corbett jersey today. So shout out to you, Candyman.
Jet up. Let's go.
Speaking of Frank Reich, we played you some clips earlier, but why don't we hear more from the Jets OC? Here's Frank Reich's full press conference from earlier today over at One Jets Drive.
Okay, just to get started, just a general statement about training camp so far. It's been outstanding. I think AG's done a phenomenal job of creating a vision and setting a tone for us as a team, for the players, and I think everybody's following through with that. On offense specifically, though, I'm really fired up about the progress we've made. We came back from the spring, feel like we picked right up. We didn't have to go back and totally reset the deck. It all starts up front with us and that O-line, those two tackles, Olu and Membu. I mean, those guys are monster players. And then inside we're strong, right, with Josh and Tip and Dylan. So we feel really good about that front five. We feel like they're sinking. We feel like they're all strong leaders. Those two tackles are beasts, and we're going to play to their strengths. Tight end group, man, I'm super excited about all of them. Ruck's kind of being the leader, but the whole group is super talented, super versatile. We'll look, they all feel very confident in all of them. In our offense, you know, the tight ends have played a good role, and I see that being a big part of what we do. You know, obviously at receiver, you know, led by G and the crew, it's a strong group. Now, it's a strong group, and feel like we can create the explosive plays that we need, right? And this, you know, you want to score points and win games. It comes from explosive plays from an offensive standpoint, and feel like we got the guys up front to give us protection, create that in the run game, and then those receivers, G, AD, Coop, you know, making the big plays in the pass game. And, you know, and of course, you know, having Brees Brees and Braylon and the whole crew at running back. Brees is, what a phenomenal player. Just getting a chance to see him now that we got pads on, it's different. Like, he's different. Man, am I glad we got that done. Super glad we got that done. And then lastly, you know, and then Brees is so versatile, so smart. And then lastly, obviously at quarterback, you know, Gino's the leader. He's the leader of the offense. Make no mistake about it, in every way, shape, and form. And to me, what has come crystal clear to me in this early time in training camp, the attribute that sticks out to me is his laser focus. This man is laser focused like people don't understand. Like, he comes to work. He comes to work and he is locked in. And I feel like the whole offense plays off of that. That's a really big deal. The whole crew, the last thing I'll say is the whole crew offensively, this is a team that works, a unit that works very hard and has a very high football IQ. Like, we can do anything we want. We can be as multiple as we want because there's a very high football IQ. So I'll open it up from there.
Frank, with Kenyon being out for a couple of weeks, what's the challenge for you as a coach to get him ready up to speed for week one?
Yeah, good question. I mean, for us, the positive thing is Kenyon is just obviously very mature, very engaged, locked in. It's a dynamic room. Coach Fredo's a great coach, so he's locked in. Of course, you know, missing practice matters, right? Practice is a big part of it. But when it's time, we're confident he'll be ready, you know, and whenever that is. And so he knows what he needs to do to get ready in the meantime to stay locked in. And we trust all our medical staff. They're doing a great job. And I trust AG to make the right decision to pull the trigger when he's ready to come back in, and we'll get rolling.
Frank, you're watching Frank Reich's press conference from this morning. It's the first time that he spoke since June. First time Brian Duker and Chris Banjo spoke since June. It's the first day the Jets made their coordinators available for the media. Aaron Glenn not speaking today. He'll speak after practice tomorrow at One Jets Drive. So it's coordinator day for the Jets. We heard from Duker. If you're just joining us now, the rest of the Frank Reich presser.
Your time at Carolina and then Stanford, like, what have you learned that can help you, you know, in this situation this year?
Trust players, man. This game is about players. You can't flinch. We as a coaching staff, as an offensive coaching staff, we talk about it all the time. We know we have the talent to do what we want to do this year. What does that exactly look like? I'm not sure yet. I just know we have the talent and we have the quarterback to do good things. And so we just got to work really hard. We got to work really hard, and we got to weather storms because, you know, and that's one of the things, you be in this league long enough, you're going to go through down times, and you got to learn to just stay even keel, but with a sense of urgency. Even keel, not too high, not too low, but man, you got a fire in your belly. Like, we're gonna win, and we're gonna be consistent. We'll go through the rough times together, but we're gonna keep fighting to get better.
Going back to the tight end room, Gino had some really great things to say about Jelani Woods. I know you're reunited with him. What have you been seeing from him throughout camp?
Yeah, well, I love Jelani. Like I said, I love that whole room, but Jelani's super talented. Obviously was a part of drafting him in Indy. He is, first of all, he's an explosive blocker. He can block the point of attack. He's long and he's fast. People don't realize how fast he is once he gets the ball in his hand. He's dangerous with the ball in his hand. That's what I remember from his college tape. And even the 1 year we were together in Indy, when he catches the ball, he's a big man and he can run. And he's smart. Jelani is like wicked smart. And so I think he has helped that tight end room learn certain aspects of this offense, knowing what we want to do.
What do you want to see from
Welcome to the team, Jelani Woods. I'd be surprised if he's not on the 53. Seriously. Andrew Beck, your spot could be in jeopardy.
In the 2 days against the Bucks next week.
I mean, we couldn't be going up against a better defense. You know, like this defense is always notoriously very good against the run. I mean, just good in general. Coach Bowles, legendary defensive coach, has always been great. So it's just going to be competitive. You know, we're not super game planning for them. We're not spending too much time. We're spending a little bit of time because you got to know a little bit about it, but just more run our core plays, win our one-on-one battles, execute our basic core schemes, and then learn from them.
What are your thoughts on Klubnik so far? And since we're not going to get you before the first game, what would you expect from him in the first game against Tampa?
You know, I think Cade's been good. I'm really like how he's come back mentally, and I feel like he's taken a good step mentally. It's a lot now. Like, I think we're at the point where everything is pretty much in. He shows the aptitude to pick it all up, the aptitude for big plays, right? And you know, just continue to weather the storm. There will be some storms. You know, you're a rookie quarterback. You're gonna take your lumps. But I'm happy with the whole quarterback room. All those guys that are kind of competing for the number 2 spot are doing a good job.
Frank, a lot of guys talk about the energy you've brought to meetings and to the field and stuff. I'm curious, like, how much has coming back here to the Jets and this opportunity energized you?
A lot. I mean, it's energized me a lot. I get my energy from AG, number 1, right? I mean, like a lot of the players here, you know, he's a great leader. So I'm connected to that, to his leadership. But ultimately, as the offensive coordinator, I get my energy from the players on offense. You know, wanting to see them excel, wanting to see G do his thing, excited about what we're seeing from AD. Tight ends, man, put any one of you in there. All of your great players, you know. Seeing what Brees can do. Braylon looks great running the ball. He's big and strong. I mean, watching Geno operate, the other quarterbacks operate this offense, and Geno's laser-like focus, man, it's hard not to get excited about that every day. Like, it's a lot of fun.
What is Geno being so accurate over the years?
He's got, I remember he's coming out. I told you guys earlier I had a high grade on him. Like, I thought his throwing mechanics, as if I'm talking pure upper body mechanics, they're pure. Like, there's only a couple guys in the league that I would say are pure. Geno's one of them. And then here's the other thing, the other comment that I would make about Geno, it just hit me, is I don't know how old he is. I know isn't he past 35? It feels like he's 28. I'm telling you, it feels like physically, like I see like he is in his prime physically. Like his arm, the way he moves, his feet in the pocket, he's physically in his prime. So he takes great care of himself, and that's going to help this team.
You got to like that if you're a Jet fan, huh? You talk about an OC going to bat for his quarterback, a guy who's bounced around the league, quarterback the team that had the worst record in football. Now, does it mean anything? It means nothing if Geno doesn't play well, but at least you got the OC buying into Eugene. More from Frank Reich.
A couple guys like Garrett and Baseball said it, that in your offense, they feel like there's some room for interpretation for the players and adjustment. How do you balance, this is how it's drawn in the playbook versus letting players make plays, like you said before?
Yeah, I mean, it is balanced, right? There's a healthy tension, and we, you set that up front, and you give them a little bit of latitude, and you trust them. Like, they're super instinctive. That's why they're here. But then you do have to pull back at times, and everybody's good with that, But it's give and take, and there's never a set formula. Every day's a new day. So ultimately, that comes from a trust in the players. But there is a very strong belief that there is a way we have to do things. But it's gray out there, man. It doesn't always happen the way you think it's going to happen. And if you don't empower the players to use their instincts and to trust them and to play with confidence and not think, I hope I'm hitting the right spot. I don't want them thinking like that, right? None of our coaches want them thinking like that. Play ball and react and, and let's go make big plays. And when it doesn't work out, let's re-huddle and get ready for the next one.
What's impressed you in particular about Membu? It seems like he's had a really
He's a powerful man. He's a powerful man. He's an explosive man. All those guys are super smart. Him and Olu, I mean, they're together all the time. They're talking all the time. Membu is super competitive now. He doesn't want to lose, like all these guys. He don't want to lose a rep to anybody, anytime, anywhere. And he's got an intensity about him. We talk about Geno's laser-like focus. Membu brings an intensity that everybody feeds off. We feed off of Geno's focus, and we feed off of Membu's intensity, right? He's an intense human being, and I think that's a big part of our leadership up front.
Frank, what's the process like for you evolving year to year in the offense? Obviously, you can't do the same thing you did in San Diego or Philadelphia. Or what's that look like in terms of how you approach the offseason and tweaking your offense every year?
It's been fun, with the new group of coaches, right? So normally when you go as an offensive coach or coordinator, head coach, you're going in and you're bringing all, you're getting most of your guys. And so we got new guys. So listen, I'm a collaborator. Like, I definitely have things that I want to do and I know work and are proven in this league, and they're staples that will be there for the history of time. But there's a lot of little nuances and things that we're doing that have come from other coaches, little plays here, little plays there, so that anyone come from that, they might think they know exactly what we're going to do, but they don't. And, we're not anxious to tell anybody what that is, and we'll be pretty generic, just so you all know, we're going to be pretty generic, okay? So as we roll out in preseason, and, not that there's going to be any new invention or something nobody's seen before, but just little things to keep the defense a little bit on edge, a little bit off balance. That's ultimately what you're trying to do.
Good stuff there from Frank Reich. The way I would describe him, adult in the room. Does he have another good year left in him? Has he been away from the NFL too long? Fair questions, but I like how he brought up that he's a collaborator because he hired some guys who are young and hopefully bring some fresh and innovative ideas like Seth Ryan, who's the pass game coordinator, Rex Ryan's son, of course. Seth comes from the Lions. Worked with Ben Johnson, who's the brightest offensive guy in the sport, many would tell you. So you just hope that Frank Reich has enough left to engineer a playbook that maximizes the talent that exists. I mean, I loved hearing Reich rave about Breece Hall. How unique he is, how smart he is. Again, Frank Reich had a ton of success with Jonathan Taylor in Indy. So he could call an offense that features the running back being arguably your best player, your best skill player. That's what you need to see with the Jets. They got to be able to run the ball. We're concerned about Geno turning the ball over. The best way to help mitigate turnovers, have a running game. Have Breece Hall run the hell out of the ball. You paid him. And by the way, by paying Breece Hall early, Darren Muji wins again. Breece Hall went from the fourth highest paid running back in the league 2 months ago to now he's down to the eighth after Bijan, after Gibbs, after Taylor, after all these guys got new deals. Breece Hall no longer top 5 paid running back. So does Reich have enough creative ingenuity to design a good offense? I think he can. And I like how he believes in Geno. You want those guys aligned. Who knows deep down if Tanner Engstrand actually had belief in Justin Fields? He's going to say publicly he did, but it was his first chance to be an OC. Glenn wanted Fields. That was his pick. Tanner Engstrand's never designed an offense for a running quarterback. It was a match that was destined to fail because Engstrand was not ready, wasn't a good fit, and Fields sucks. We can be honest. He's terrible. So we'll find out. We're presented by Cash App, calling all Asmaniacs who have kids, parents. I'm calling you out. Listen up. You could start a Cash App account for your kid, for your teen, and they could start building interest in that account for as little as $1 with no monthly fees or minimum balance requirements. You also can manage everything directly through your own Cash App account. So if you want to start saving up for college, Cash App is offering this opportunity for Jake Asman Show listeners. Download the Cash App today and sponsor your team. Use the link in my bio and see for yourself. Start teaching your children smart financial habits early. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Cash App Visa Debit Flex cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. The Bancorp Bank. See terms and conditions for the Sutton prepaid card, Sutton Debit Flex card, and Bancorp Debit Flex card. Savings provided by Cash App, A Block Inc. Brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. Last chance to get in on the show. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Wayne Crabette, signed jersey, up for grabs. Enter the raffle for your chance to win. Sunday, we give away a Jets jersey of your choosing. A signed Curtis Martin helmet, a signed Joe Klecko helmet, and a signed Joe Namath helmet. So make sure you enter for the Crabette jersey today and are 4 prizes in our weekly raffle, raffle number 83. Find me a show that gives out more signed Jet items than this one. You won't. We have the best listeners who make it possible. Shout out to Robin, who gifted a channel membership. He enters the raffle today for 1. Last chance to get in on the show. Open phone lines for those of you who want in. Reminder, at the end of this month, we're going to be out in Vegas. We'll be signing up for the Circa Survivor. Circasports.com is the website for all the info on the Survivor contest and the Circa Pro Football Circa Million contest, plus the Circa Grandissimo has $4 million in guaranteed prizes. The entry to enter that, though, I believe is what? I think it's up to $100,000. Crazy. But $20 million for the Survivor. It's $1,000 to enter. This is for the hardcore sports gambler. So it's a football Friday. We'll be out in Vegas in a few short weeks. We'll have some great guests join us that week from the Circa Radio Row. So I'm looking forward to our trip out there. But if you're interested in any of these contests you've heard me talk about the last couple of weeks on the show, all the info you need is at circasports.com. Vote in the Azzies. We gave you the highlight montage earlier for the greatest Beast Breaker moment. Your vote will determine who wins the Azzie. And right now we go back to the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline.
People used to call me Pits. That's why I shave my goddamn body here. That's why I shave my pits. That's why I want to stay fresh.
Why did they call you Pits?
Because I used to stink.
Beast, how we feeling? It would help if you talk. It is a talk show after all. You have a guitar? We can't hear you play the guitar. Your mic doesn't pick it up. So this does absolutely nothing for anybody. Don't let the Nightbot win, Beast.
Nightbot here again. I'm coming for you, Jason. Your chat messages are like a bag of dicks to me. I will destroy your fat ass.
I am Nightbot. I am the global enforcer. ECW is garbage wrestling. It is not hardcore. Beastbreaker 666. You are not hardcore. You will bow.
Now leave me alone. I have enough things on my life that I have to worry about, shithead.
Now look what you've done. Beastbreaker 666. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to cut your call off and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. Do you understand me? You catch my drift?
Are you seriously on crack? I think
Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
How about you bending over and taking up the booty hole behind the 7-Eleven?
Beast versus the Nightbot, a rivalry that continues, folks. How about this gesture from Frank P? Jake, please put these in for Ozzy. Today's the day. Frank P purchased 4 raffle entries for Ozzy Fuller.
Let's go.
J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets.
Let's go. Love it. All right, last call to get in on our first show. We're back this afternoon in the 4 p.m. hour. Dylan Terriman is hopping on the program, folks. Anyone got big weekend plans? Ladies and gentlemen, reminder to join the Patreon if you haven't. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Lock in your tickets for the Jets and the Dolphins, our group outing in October. Big shout out to Dom Sorrow, Amos Johnson, Nova Jet, Peter Polizzato, Mario Solinsky, Mad Team Jet Fan, and Fat Bulldog for being our most recent Patreon supporters. Outstanding. Pat McAfee's tank top says, Beast wants to be left alone, yet always calls in. My frustration is when he calls in but then doesn't talk. Hence, the call is for the purpose of talking. When you call and don't talk, that defeats the purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to close the voting in the polls, and it's close right now in the Azzy Award, which is all about Beast today, the greatest Beast Breaker moment. Right now, it's 30% saying the USPS war, but 29% is the bathtub from hell. Unbelievable. It's tight. Real tight. Beast, do you think the USPS war should win? Beast, you there?
Nightbot here again. I'm coming for you, Jason. Your chat messages are like a bag of dicks to me. I will destroy your fat ass.
I am Nightbot. I am the global enforcer. ECW is garbage wrestling. It is not hardcore Beast Breaker.
Go fuck yourself. Get out of my fucking sight.
You are not
Get the
hardcore.
fuck out of...
You will bow.
On behalf of the Jake Asman Show, we apologize for the foul language.
Boy, that escalated quickly, folks. All right, let's end the voting, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of the Azzy Award for the greatest Beast Breaker moment is... Oh my God, we need overtime. We need overtime. 30% say bathtub from hell. 30% say the USPS war. Bag of dicks at 20% and didn't watch the Jet game at 20%. Wow, we have never had a race this close. Unreal. All four. Really close, but hey, we need overtime. And the top two will face off in said overtime. Take a look at the polls here. Take a screenshot for people to see. Bathtub from hell versus the USPS war. What a competition. What an Azzy. That's up for grabs here. It's fitting because these were two all-time Asmaniac moments. All right, overtime rules. It's 3 minutes when we repost the poll. Or is it just a tie and no Azzy gets presented? I'm just kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a 2-horse race. Bathtub from hell and USPS war. So I'm going to reset the poll now. I'm going to get ready with my 3 minutes on the clock. And folks, at the end of the timer, we'll find out who will win the Azzy Award. Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, overtime to decide an Azzy. And voting is underway.
Cast your vote for the best. It's time for the Azzy Awards. It's time for the Azzy Awards. Cast your vote for the best. It's time for the Azzy Awards.
Beast, what do you think of the fact it went to overtime? You're on mute. If you're just going to sit there and cry, that's not what manly men do. That's not what a 35-time world champion would do.
I was actually going to do Control Center stuff that's actually going to be coming up because 3 games are coming up. Going, starting August 28th, 6:30 Eastern Time. Jets versus Giants. Get your tickets now at your nearest nearby box office. August 21st, we come to Pittsburgh. Get your tickets now. 6:30 game time. And then next Friday night, live in East Rutherford, New Jersey, at MetLife, Jets versus Tampa Bay. 6:30 Eastern Time. Get your tickets now. All this and more. Jets pre-football season begins next Friday. Be there or be square.
Nightbot here again. I'm coming for you, Jason. Your chat messages are like a bag of dicks to me. I will destroy your fat ass.
I am Nightbot. I am the global enforcer, and I am the leader of the chat. Beastbreaker 666, you will bow down to your master.
I am Nightbot. I am watching you, Stormrocks 877. You will be punished and removed from the chat if you continue your douchebaggery, flappy tits.
Can you hear me? Oh man!
No! Get out of here before I really wring your neck.
Good job. What's the best beat
Get
breaker?
out of here.
I think USPS is gonna win that. Is gonna win pretty
I
badly. Honestly,
don't want to hear you today at all. I don't want to hear you today. I hate your guts.
Can you hear me?
I seriously hate your guts.
Good job.
Get the hell out of here.
Do you think your daughter's gonna win?
Piece of shit. You have no. You got that right.
Do you think your daughter's gonna win the sixth?
Enough is enough with you today. Enough is enough with you today. Enough is enough with you today. I've had it with you for 6 months. You've been sticking it up. Sticking it. Leave me alone, you little shit. Uh-oh.
I am Nightbot. I am the global enforcer. ECW is garbage wrestling. It is not hardcore. Beastbreaker 666.
You suck,
you are not
big
hardcore.
I am Nightbot. I am watching you, Stormrocks 877. You will be punished and removed from the chat if you continue your douchebaggery, flappy tits.
You hear that? That's the timer being up. It's time to end the vote. The winner of the Azzy for the best Beastbreaker moment is Bathtub from Hell. Congratulations to Beast on the honor. 52% versus 48% went to the USPS war, which is incredible how tight even the overtime ends up being for this coveted Azzy award. Ladies and gentlemen, in honor of Beats Bathtub winning the award, we show you what it looked like before Lou B and the plumbers fixed the tub. Beast, congratulations to you and your bathtub. Do you have an acceptance speech? Or we're just going to sit here in silence? At least Nightbot talks. What's gotten into you?
Can you hear me? Really? Oh man! Hopefully your daughter wins the 6th cheerleading championship. Let's see. Let's hope she wins.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
For 6 months, you've been nothing but a thorn.
Good job.
You've been a bad thorn. Oh, I'm gonna take you, all right. You know where I'm gonna take you? To the power plant. I'm gonna stretch you to the point where that stupid shit-eating grin is gonna turn into muscle. I'm gonna turn that mush into muscle, and when I'm done with you, you're gonna be crying your way all the way back to Dixie.
I am Nightbot.
Piss off, you shitbag.
I am the
I don't know
global
time for you.
enforcer.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're the first. You're a first-class blowhard. You're a
Beastbreaker
blowhard.
666.
Piss
You
off,
will
you
bow
blowhard.
down to your master.
Nightbot here again. I'm coming for you, Jason. Your chat messages are like a bag of dicks to me. I will destroy your fat ass.
Well, we're not going to get a Beast acceptance speech, unfortunately, folks. Tune in this afternoon. Who knows what will happen. On that note, That's the show. Thank you to Matt O'Leary for hopping on for the first hour. Congrats to Beast on the Azzy Award. Ladies and gentlemen, what a moment this program was. We'll never forget it. We will never, ever forget it. Farewell to all. And in honor of Beast's triumphant win, here is the in full Beast bathtub plumber situation after its big time Azzy victory. Lou B joins us. Lou, what's the deal with this plumber you hired for Beast today?
This went from a small job to a rather large job. For the last 10 days, Beast has not had hot water. Then it wasn't the hot water. Now there is a clog. Where is this clog? I need to know before I send a plumber to his sure death. The clog is in the tub. Joshua, the plumber, is there now, and he had to call in another plumber.
Tools in hand, let's go, Beast. What's the problem? Talk to me. Seems to me that Beast has been unloading his beast on that bowl a little heavy in the tub. I don't know if his ass can't fit on that toilet. He's hitting the tub for it, but we'll take care of it. We'll rip that sucker right out. This boy right here will get it loose.
This thing was blocking the pipes where the water was at, so that guy took it out of there. Boy, was it a bitch. It smells like somebody's ass.
Big fella says you have to stop shitting in the tub. What does it taste like? Is your bathtub now working?
We got it working.
Now, have you thought about saying thank you to Lou B?
He'll get his wish, but fortunately,
No. How about you say thank you now? He's not wishing for it. You say thank you for getting a plumber to come to my random ass house in a different state, 3,000 miles away.
Whoa, I will say it to him on the phone when I get him on the telephone.
Say it to him now. There's 300 people watching.
Muchas gracias, El Luby. And we'll get you a burrito, my friend.
Just say thank you.
Son of a bitch. Thank you, Lou B. Fucking chat is treating me like crap.
But what you need to do is thank Lou B.
Thanks, Lou B. I love you as a brother. And when we meet, we're going for Mexican food.
Holy shit.
Y'all bastards better get the hell off my back, or you're all going to get your asses with a boot up it. Whoa. That is disgusting. I'll take this rod, lucky I don't brand it, and shove it all up your asses. Some tacky yaki. I don't like it. I don't like how I used to love that. This. I will talk later.
Do you think I could buy that rod off a Beast and use it as a raffle prize?
You might, right? That might be a good idea. Have him send it to you and bring it to Ocean, dude.
I'll stick it up your ass, Beast, honestly.
What's the latest with the plumbing situation? Do we have an update?
The bathtub's up to grade. Get that hot water heater going again, and then.
Will you say thank you to Lou B for fixing this?
He would have got through his telephone. He heard me loud and clear. Muchas gracias, el señor Lou B. You are
in English. No, in English.
Thank you, Lou B. You're welcome here to my community.
Jake Quest has sent Beast to the hole.
I'm going to rip that guy's throat out and choke slam him straight to hell. Fucking asshole. You're a fucking dead man.
I'm going to post bail for you.
Beast, why you a little bitch?
You got nothing to say but insult people. Oh, look at me. I'm a big shot. You're a loser.
How about you say thank you to fucking Lou B?
I already took care of it. You're a fruitcake. And you can take that picture and shove it up your freaking ass.
Mad Max is inside the Beastbreaker bathtub right now. Dana says that tub has hantavirus. He's getting something from that. There's no doubt.
I really don't know what to say.
How about the fact that you're so beloved that someone went out of their way to get a plumber to show up to your home in a completely different part of the country? Say thank you to Lou B one more time, Beast. He deserves it.
Lou B, thanks, brother. Just let me be today. I'm already getting a headache right now from yelling at every fruitcake.
Beast, have you thought about not yelling at everyone? Like, the chat messes around. So, Beast, you now have full hot water, correct?
See.
And Lou B spent $2,500 out of his own pocket to make this happen. Well, why don't you say thank you to Lou B?
If I do intend to get married, he is my first inductee to being on my wedding list.
Shut up. And then I raised from listeners, some who wanted to remain anonymous, so I won't shout everyone out. I raised close to $1,000 to help pay Lou B back. So not only do you need to thank Lou B, you need to thank everyone who has donated to try and help you have hot water in your home, which you now do.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Leave a message. Have a good day, everybody.
If you want to know what these plumbers saw yesterday, here's a look. This is what Lou B was dealing with.
This has been crazy, Jake, this whole experience. I never knew it was going to turn into such madness. The big story here is the plumber from day one was not the plumber from day two. He did not come back. This had to get fixed one way or another. I didn't care what had to be done. This was getting done. Beast provides a lot of entertainment for a lot of us, and there's been nights where I've laughed hysterical watching him. So I was like, I have to do something. And I know he provides a lot of entertainment for the show, and he feels terrible about the things he said. He called me today really upset. So he's already said thank you to me. He offered me a Mexican burrito that he's going to get me. Yesterday he called me, if I ever get married, you're my best man. And then he switched it to inductee.
He is my first inductee to being on my wedding list.
Motherfucker. How'd I go from best man? What happened? I don't know who the bride is. Then he switched it. Thank you to all the Asmaniacs that, thanking me to doing this stuff, but I appreciate it.
You are the man, ladies and gentlemen. The great Lou B with us here.
I would like to start by thanking the great Lou B for helping me get a plumber and paying for the repairs so I can have hot water again. He is the best. I know how lucky I am to have him care about me. I also need to thank the many Asmaniacs who donate money to help me pay for my boiler and tub repairs. Most of them they don't know me, so the fact that they would do this makes me internally grateful and proud to be part of this community. Just leave a message. Just leave a message. Thank you. Have a good day.